Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. It's hard to understand that one of the most successful companies in the world could be in financial trouble, but at the beginning of this century, McDonald's was going through a huge change. Change that redefined McDonald's, and it's going until this day. But that change not only impacted McDonald's, but also the customers and most of all the kids and teenagers. It's even more extraordinary when you realize that this change was done by 5 simple notes. How this simple jingle changed McDonald's, and why did it also affected us and our health? And how we starting to lose control of our bodies when we hear I'm loving it. So let me tell you a story about how McDonald's was saved by one jingle.
McDonald's said today it will begin serving a healthier Happy Meal.
A main attraction luring children into a pattern of unhealthy eating.
Obesity is an epidemic among America's children.
Harmless little toy or a
McDonald's from early days was focusing mainly on kids, with its invention of Happy Meal in 1979, from birthday parties, playgrounds, and bright colors of the restaurants. And let's not forget the clown. All these were targeted on kids, and this recipe worked for McDonald's for a very long time. But then came 21st century.
Happy 2000!
These were times where Backstreet Boys and Jonas Brothers captured the hearts of teenage girls. Harry Potter just hit the shelves, and NSYNC was doing their synchronized dances. In early 2000s, McDonald's was dealing with declining revenue, but the marketing position was still the same. They were saying that if you love your child, you take them to McDonald's. But this quickly changed into if you love your child, save money and cook at home. Well, you see, at the early 2000s, there was this thing called recession.
Saw it, didn't you? It was down some.
The plunge was sparked by a jump in US inflation.
McDonald's had to close more than 175 restaurants. Almost 1.7 million jobs were lost in the US. And to some degree, parents couldn't afford to take their kids to McDonald's that often. With that decline, company had to change their strategy and target different audience fast. They wanted to connect more to the teenagers and people who were more financially independent and don't rely mostly on their parents' money. And this is where the shoe company comes in.
The last time we started talking about shoes, there was a huge deal.
And this is my main man, Michael Jordan. Violence that broke out when people rushed to get the newest pair of Air Jordans.
You know how every brand has a face now, or some kind of collaboration with celebrity? Celebrity endorsements and collaborations with brands have been since the end of 19th century. But this changed with the invention of TV. Now people buy products simply because their favorite actor or athlete who they inspire to is promoting the brand. We want to fly like Michael Jordan by buying his shoes.
You can fly, can't you?
We want to create like Picasso or do creative things just like these famous people behind the mic do by buying the Apple products. And so Nike had Just Do It, and Michael Jordan and Ronaldo. Wait, not this Ronaldo, the original one. Apple had Think Differently and faces like Hitchcock and Edison. Pepsi was also pushing their campaign, for those who think young, and having Beyonce and Britney Spears doing their thing. But what about McDonald's? They wanted to do something similar. They tried some songs and catchphrases before. And even got Michael Jordan.
And here comes Michael Jordan.
But they never hit the mark. And so in early 2000s, they started their search. And as with every good campaign, you need 3 things: catchphrase, jingle, and the face of the campaign. Catchphrase was created by a small ad company based in suburb Munich. Tom Baptoy delivered the famous jingle we all know. And Pusha T wrote some songs. With all that in place, McDonald's was left only with one spot to fill. Well, they had a clown, right? The problem was the clown won't work with young teenagers. They needed someone cool, young, someone who's able to encapsulate the energy of those early 2000s. You remember that dancing boys band I was telling you about earlier? NSYNC just split up in 2002, and this young gentleman was looking for his own road to success. Justin already had some hit songs, so it was easier for a wider audience to recognize his face. McDonald's paid Timberlake $6 million to sing the song with Pusha T, Later on, Justin was regretting taking the deal, but that's a different story. Having everything, McDonald's could launch the campaign to the world, and it exploded. You remember when I said that people want to associate with athletes or celebrities by buying the products? Well, this is a similar thing here. Teenagers and young adults wanted to be like Justin, be cool, and so McDonald's started to look cool. It wasn't a place where you would go with your parents. It transformed into a place where you would hang out with your cool friends. New campaign was an instant success. As McDonald's grew, their customers grew with them. And so we arrived to the pinnacle of this story. How 5 simple notes transform not only McDonald's, but also our health and the fast food in general. Comparing some obesity graphs to McDonald's growth, we can clearly see some correlations. And also looking at this map of McDonald's locations to adult obesity. And yes, it's not only McDonald's fault. It's not the only fast food restaurant, but it's definitely one of the most influential ones. But what's even more surprising is that looking at some new evidence, fast food can be addictive, the same way as drugs are. Apparently sugar, fat and sodium are a great recipe for fast food fix. All these ingredients have one thing in common. They make foods highly palatable. And highly palatable foods can be powerful triggers for the brain's pleasure reward system. It's similar to watching TikTok all day or winning a lottery. That satisfying feeling can be addictive. And McDonald's knows about this marketing strategy. Getting us addicted to the jingle that stays in your head and food that you can never get enough is an amazing loophole and road to amazing success. But is that success achieved by getting us unhealthy and addictive? I'm Lovin' It is still one of the longest running campaign in history, but the next time you hear this simple but catchy jingle, think twice how it can manipulate and influence your decision, and in the process, your health.